1 year after it vanished into Lake Superior, nothing on the Edmund Fitzgerald has moved. The ship did not drift. The objects did not scatter. Time did not rush in. What remains below is not a wreck in motion, but a moment sealed in cold water, where decay is slow, silence is complete, and the past is still unfolding, one grain of silt at a time. This is the SS Edmund Fitzgerald. Built for power, not elegance, she was a 729-foot iron ore carrier designed to endure the hardest freshwater seas on Earth. Her decks were sealed steel. Her holds were vast and heavy. Every frame, every plate, every rivet was built for weight and weather. Now, 1 year after sinking, she stands divided, bow and stern upright on the lake bed, separated but unchanged, no longer a working ship, but a structure frozen in the moment her journey ended. One year later, the Edmund Fitzgerald rests exactly where it fell. The bow and stern stand upright on the floor of Lake Superior, separated by distance but locked in the same final moment. No current has shifted them. No collapse has followed. Inside, corridors remain intact, objects stay where they were left, and fine silt settles slowly across steel and glass. This is not decay in motion, it is time slowed to near stillness, preserving the ship as a complete, silent structure beneath the cold fresh water. Inside the Edmund Fitzgerald, nothing has scattered. A wheel still faces forward. A compass needle remains fixed. Switches stay in their last positions. Shoes rest against the wall where they were set down. Cups sit upright on tables. Doors remain half open, exactly as they were left. These objects did not float away. They did not drift or tumble through the ship. Instead, they became heavy, pressed down by cold fresh water, sealed air pockets, and the slow settling of silt that anchors everything in place. In enclosed spaces, currents barely exist. Water moves only in whispers. Dust does not swirl, it sinks, layer by layer, softening edges without shifting position. Fabric collapses inward. Paper darkens and weakens. Rubber stiffens, but nothing travels. Each room becomes its own closed system. A control room holds control panels. Crew quarters hold beds and clothing. The galley holds its utensils. The engine spaces hold their valves and pipes. Every object keeps its role, not because it is preserved, but because nothing acts upon it anymore. This is what stillness looks like underwater. Not emptiness, but order without intention. The absence of motion turns ordinary items into markers of time, recording the final seconds of use and then stopping forever. Here, history does not replay itself. It simply remains unchanged, unobserved and unmoving, waiting in silence beneath the surface. Nothing here is frozen by chance. The Edmund Fitzgerald rests in cold, fresh water, where currents are weak and life is sparse. Inside the ship, sealed compartments prevent water from circulating, creating pockets of near-total stillness. Without waves, storms, or human contact, there is no force to disturb what remains. Silt settles slowly, pressing objects into place instead of moving them. Steel absorbs pressure. Fabric collapses. Paper fades. What looks like preservation is simply the absence of motion, an environment where time continues, but movement does not. The Edmund Fitzgerald is not static. Change is happening, but it unfolds quietly, measured in texture and tone rather than collapse. Steel does not weaken all at once. It dulls, darkens, and slowly absorbs mineral residue. Paint fades and loosens, edges soften, dust thickens where motion never returns. Inside, fabrics compress and lose structure. Paper darkens and thins, rubber stiffens and cracks. Glass clouds. Wood deepens in color as fresh water seeps into its grain. Each material responds differently, following its own timeline. Nothing breaks suddenly, nothing falls. The ship does not shift or settle further. Instead, every surface records time through accumulation. This is decay without drama, an environment where the largest changes are microscopic, and the ship transforms not through violence, but through patience. 1 year later, the Fitzgerald remains whole in form, yet quietly different in every detail. Not everything disappears at the same pace. Soft materials fade first. Paper weakens and dissolves. Fabric collapses. Leather breaks down. Rubber hardens, then cracks. Paint peels and loses its bond. Labels vanish long before the objects they named. Metal behaves differently. Thin steel dulls and pits, while thick structural plates remain intact. Valves hold. Tools endure. The hull persists. Time underwater does not erase everything, it edits selectively, removing the delicate details first and leaving the weight and structure behind. The Edmund Fitzgerald does not fade into motion. She remains as a single moment, sealed beneath cold freshwater bow, and stern standing, objects unmoved, time suspended. Nothing ends here. Nothing begins again. The ship simply stays, exactly as it was left,